Hello, students, and welcome. This is Jyoti Rajput, and today's topic is bee communication. Honeybees are very unique, and they are the one who use the best understood animal languages. And due to this language, they are able to communicate with each other. They are able to inform the information about like where exactly the food source is present, in which direction the food source is, and what exactly the distance is between the hive and the food source. So they use a kind of a language. The system of communication was first identified and discovered by Austrian zoologist Karl von Frisch at the University of Munich, Germany. And he also got the Nobel Prize in 1973 for this research on this dance language. So Professor Carl von Frisch, he spent number of years to study the behavior and experiments in the early 20s. And first of all, what he did in his experiment was, first of all, he kept a dish of sugar solution near its hive. And now one of the bee is going to come and again will visit back to the hive. So the very first bee, she must have informed others also about where exactly the sugar solution, the food it is kept, and which is the direction the food it is kept, that is sugar solution, in which direction, at which distance it is kept from the hive. So this is how he did a number of experiments. So there was a kind of a long experimentation done by the Carl von Frisch, so that he can identify that which bee came the very first time. He used some colored dots on the thorax of bee so that he can identify them from rest of the fellows, and can observe the behavior of the very first bee who came, so that she can tell the other honeybees where exactly the food it is kept. So what further he did is, he kept this sugar solution at a varying distance, at a varying direction, and he observed the what kind of behavior it is done. So he found that the very first bee who came is a forager bee, and while returning to the nest, she makes two kinds of dunks on the vertical surface on the comb. The very first dunks is the round dunks, you can say runtens, and the another form of dunks is the tail wagging dunks. You can say it is schwanzeltens. So the very first dunks which we are going to study is called as round dunks. Here, so if you observe this kind of dunks, here you can see a kind of a round a pattern kind of a dunks it is done by the forager bee. So the round dunks it तभी होगा तभी देखने मिलेगा when the food source it is less than 15 meters in distance, and it was observed in the Apis mellifera. So the dance it is performed by the bees to indicate, to tell other sisters that where exactly the source of food it is. So if it is close to the hive, then the round dance is to be done. And this is how they communicate with each other. So whenever we observe this kind of round dance, the bee, she runs in a circle, first in one and then in opposite direction circle. So this is a kind of clockwise and anti-clockwise movement of the honeybees it is seen. So actually, she traces out a figure of 8. But the two loops of the 8 they are superimposed on one another. मतलब दोनों के दोनों जो loops हैं ये एक के ऊपर एक superimposed हैं upon one another. So this is how kind of a round dance it is done by the forager bee. So the performer bee do this dance for about a half a minute. उससे ज़्यादा भी देखने मिल सकता है on the same part of the comb, and later it is repeated by other group of bees also, so that they can demonstrate other bee also, so that they can inform other bee also that we have found a source of food and where exactly it is. It is near to the hive or it is at a distance to the hive. ओके, सो अगर राउंड डाउन हो रहा है तो इसका मतलब 50 मीटर्स के अंदर ही ये फूड सोर्स जो है वो प्रेजेंट है. So this is how some of the workers in the hive they closely follow the dance which is performed by the forager bee, and the others also join to this dance so that they can inform each other that we have found the food, and now they are ready to leave the hive so that they can collect more and more nectar and prepare the honey. The next dance which you are going to study is the tail wagging dance. So whenever we study the tail wagging dance, when the food source, it is beyond, it is more than 15 meters at a distance, then this tail wagging dance it is performed. So here whenever we observe this tail wagging dance, there are two semicircular movement it is done by the forager bee, first in the left direction and second in the right direction. And here the straight run is also seen in the center region. Here there is a kind of a wagging, that is shaking of the abdomen, it is seen into the center region. So whenever she moves from the center region, she wags, I mean she wags the tail, and here will move towards will do a semicircular movement towards the left side, and again she will move the abdomen, and again she will do a semicircular direction movement. So that is why it is called as tail wagging dance. So here, Von Frisch found that the number of wags per unit time was related to the distance the food was located. इसका मतलब है जितने ज्यादा वैग्स प्रेजेंट होंगे, जितने ज्यादा शेक्स प्रेजेंट होंगे, उतना कम डिस्टेंस में ही फूड सोर्स है। और जितने uh, I mean, it vice versa. Okay, so more the wax, less the distance the food sources, and less the wax, then more the distance of the food it is from the hive. इसका मतलब है the wags indicate that the source of food was near or far. अगर wags ज्यादा हैं तो food source hive से पास में है, और अगर wags कम है इसका मतलब food source जो है वो hive से काफी ज्यादा distance पे है. So जैसे कि हमने एपिस इंडिका में देखा है that she performs about 10.5 shakes in 15 seconds indicating a distance of 50 feet. And अगर 4.4 wags शो कर रहा है इसका मतलब जो distance of the food है वो करीबन thousands feet दूर है. और this figure it varies with the different bee species to species. So here, if we look in this dance, this is a kind of a tail wagging dance. So you can see in the center she is wagging her tail, it means she is wagging her abdomen, she is shaking her abdomen, and then again will perform a kind of a semicircular movement. So semicircular movement is one is in the left direction, and semicircular movement it is going to be one into the right direction, but in center she wags the tail, she, I mean shakes the abdomen. Further, some more information, if we talk about the tail wagging dance, the pattern of the tail wagging dance it is going to be different, related with the direction of the where the food source it is present. So whenever we observe the pattern of the tail wagging tongue. So suppose this is the food source, this is a hive, and this is the sun. Okay, so it means food source, and this is the hive, and this is the sun, all are in one direction. So then the performance of the bee, that is the tail wagging dance, it is going to be kind of a this pattern. First semicircular movement इस तरीके से देखने मिलेगा. Okay, and then she will wags her tail in this direction, and again she will moves in this direction. Okay, and again she will wags her tail into the center region. Okay, so this is how the kind of a tail wagging dance it is going to get performed by the forager bee. Okay, so she will wag the tail in this direction. Okay, then again she will moves in this direction, and again she will moves in this direction. Okay, so this is how the tail wagging dance it is going to get performed. Another example which we are going to see, suppose this is direction, sorry, another example which we are going to study is, suppose if we change the direction of the food, and this is the sun, this is the hive, and this is the direction of the food where it is present. Now the tail wagging dance it is going to be, pattern is going to be different. So this is how the pattern of the tail wagging dance is going to be, and this is how the movement it is going to be seen. ओके, सो इस तरीके से जो है टेल वैगिंग डंक्स का पैटर्न जो है वो बदल जाएगा if the direction of the food source it is different. Another one which we are going to see, suppose here this is the location of the sun, here is the location of a food, here is the location of the hive. you can see जब हम hive को देखते हैं, so the sun and the food here they are at an angle of 60 degree, they are at the angle of 60 degree. अब यहाँ पर जो pattern है tail wagging tongues वो change हो जाएगा. इसका मतलब वो थोड़ी सी tilted form में tail wagging tongues perform करेगी. So she will moves in one left side of the semicircular pattern, and again she will moves in the center wagging her tail. Again she will complete a half of the semicircular, that is towards the right direction, and again she will move the abdomen, and again she will move towards the left side, and here again she will move towards the right side. मतलब कि जो direction है, the upward movement of direction, it is towards the food source. Upward direction movement, it is towards the food source. हम कुछ और examples लेंगे, जैसे कि अभी अभी हम बात की थी कि here, अभी अभी हमने यहाँ पर बात की थी that here suppose the sun, suppose the sun, this is the sun, this is the food, and this is the hive है. मतलब कि हाइव से जब देखते हैं फूड और सन दे आर इन द वन डायरेक्शन, सो इस तरीके से अपवर्ड मूवमेंट देखने मिलेगा हमको for a b का, and will move in a semicircular direction, that is towards the left, and again she will moves her abdomen, upward movement, and again she will moves into the right direction, and this is how it means towards the food source, towards the food source. Here the upward movement of the honeybee, it is going to get observed. The another example which we are going to study is, suppose here uh, the direction has changed. यहाँ पर this is the sun and this is the hive, and in the opposite direction the food it is present. So अब जो movement होगा for AJB का, it is going to be in the opposite direction. मतलब she will move her abdomen towards the opposite region, and this is how this will move in towards the left direction, I mean right direction, and again she will moves in the upward direction towards the food source, and here she will moves into the, that is left region, and again she will move her abdomen into the upward movement, that is towards the food source. So this is how the round that is tail wagging dance it is being seen. And if suppose this is the sun, third example which we are going to see, this is the sun, this is the hive, and this is the food, so they are forming a kind of an angle. तो अब जो tail wagging dunks उसका pattern जो है वो change हो जाएगा. Here she will move in this direction and will move towards semicircular another direction, and will again move into this direction, and again she'll moves in semicircular form into another direction. So movement जो है, the movement it is showing this direction, the upward movement है, it is towards this direction. इसका मतलब है जो food है it is towards this angle. Here the food source it is present. कुछ और एग्जाम्पल्स हैं जिसके जैसे कि ये सन है, बीच में ही फूड सोर्स है, दिस इज द हाइव. सो दिस इज द अपवर्ड मूवमेंट ऑफ द हनी बी, इट इज गोइंग टू बी सीन. So this is how the tail wagging dance it is going to get performed, and in the center she will move towards the upward movement, that towards the direction of the sun, the food source it is present. Second, this is the sun, this is the hive, this is the food. मतलब कि ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में, सन के ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में फूड सोर्स है, तो इसका मतलब वो डाउनवर्ड्स डायरेक्शन में मूवमेंट करेगी. She is going to do the movement in the downward direction. This is how the pattern of tail wagging tongues will change. And this is a third example. यहाँ पर sun है, this is the hive, and this is the food source. Food source जो है वो करीबन यू कैन सी फूड सोर्स जो है वो सन और हाइव से जब देखते हैं कंपेयर करते हैं, दे आर एट द 60 डिग्री सेल्सियस. नाउ द टेल वैगिंग डंक्स द पैटर्न इज गोइंग टू गेट चेंज टिल्टेड एट अ 60 डिग्री सेल्सियस, आई मीन 60 डिग्री. Okay, so this is how the tail wagging dunks it is going to get slightly tilted. तो वो भी 60 डिग्री एंगल में ही, 60 डिग्री एंगल में ही tail wagging dunks परफॉर्म करेगी. Another one, suppose this is a sun, this is hive, और 120 डिग्री एंगल में जो है फूड सोर्स प्रेजेंट है. सो इस तरीके से here, इस तरीके से 120 डिग्री एंगल में जो फूड सोर्स प्रेजेंट है, सो अगेन she is going to change the pattern of the tail wagging dunks. So this is how in this direction the movement of the tail wagging dance it is going to get seen. The pattern is going to change when the food source direction is going to change. Again some more example, ये hive है, ये sun है, and this a b c d, a b c d, these are the food source. So जब हम a के पास देखते हैं, जब hive food source sun एक ही direction में हो, तो here this is the movement of the tail wagging dance. b जब opposite direction में हो, फूड सोर्स, सो द डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन में forager भी डंक्स का मूवमेंट होगा. व्हेन द फूड सोर्स इट इज एट अ डिग्री ऑफ 120 डिग्री, तो इस तरीके से टिल्टेड फॉर्म में आपको नजर आएगा द टेल वैगिंग डंक्स. एंड व्हेन इट इज एट द 60 डिग्री, then in this direction the movement of the honey bee, that is forager bee, is going to get observed. Next dance which we are going to see is the massage dance. Massage dance तभी देखने मिलेगा when the bees are sick, when the bees are tired. जब भी कोई tired होता है, obviously everyone require massage. Okay, so in honeybees also, they also do a lot of work, so they also require massage. सो जब भी किसी भी बी को मसाज की जरूरत पड़ती है, सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल शी इज गोइंग टू बेंड हर हेड, और उसके हेड में जो भी माउथ पार्ट्स हैं, मैंडिबल, शी इज गोइंग टू ओपन हर मैंडिबल्स. शी इज गोइंग टू ओपन द माउथ, ओपन द मैंडिबल्स, एंड शी इज गोइंग टू प्रोट्रूड टंग, मतलब टंग जो है बाहर लेकर आएगी, विच इज वेरी ड्राई नाउ. तो बाकी की जो आसपास की बीज हैं वो एक्साइटेड हो जाएंगी, वो उसके ऊपर क्लाइम करेंगी, उसके नीचे क्लाइम करेंगे, एंड विल पुल joints of foreleg, pull joints of midleg, pull joints of hind legs. Okay, और फिर will touch the honeybee sideways, will touch the honeybees sideways. उसके antennas को भी touch करेंगी, mandibles को touch करेंगी, उसकी tongue को clean करेंगे, और even sometimes they're going to lick the bee also. Okay, so during massaging, the tongue which is already dry, the tongue which is already unfolded, okay, so it is clean. Okay, it is being cleaned. So after doing this massage dance for several minutes, the cleaning activities stop हो जाएगी. Okay, massaging stop हो जाएगा, और फिर बने भी दोबारा she will start working normally. And ये जो डंग्स है ज़्यादातर यूजुअली whenever there is fall in the temperature or during the winter season देखने मिलता है, and the same treatment is given to the chilled bees, the temperature where it is low in the bees. Okay, chilled bees, it is also done. Okay, in early spring it is done. Okay, next dance which we are going to study is called as DVAV dance. सबसे पहले जो है इसको ऑब्जर्व किया गया था by the headache among bees, and DVAV का full form है dorsoventral abdominal vibrations. Okay, this name was proposed by Milliam. Further इसको नाम कुछ और रखने वाले थे joy dance by headache, but उसको change कर दिया गया है DVAV में. Okay, so what happens is जब भी इस dance को perform करती हैं जो भी dancer बी हैं, सो डांसर बी सबसे पहले उसके आगे की जो बी होगी उसके ऊपर फ्रंट लेग रखेगी. ओके, एंड शी इज गोइंग टू शेक, शी इज गोइंग टू डू अबाउट 5 to 6 शेक्स, और ये जो मूवमेंट होगा एब्डोमेन का वो अपवर्ड डाउनवर्ड मूवमेंट होगा एब्डोमेन का. ओके, और धीरे धीरे स्विंग भी करेगी फॉरवर्ड और बैकवर्ड डायरेक्शन में, और इस तरीके से द बीज दे गोज टू वेरियस लोकेशन और दूसरी बीज को टच करेंगी. ओके, and this is how she'll keep her front leg on them, and she will make about 5 to 6 shakes, movement up and downwards, and also she's going to swing in forward direction, backward direction, and this is how the DVAV dance is done. So this dance it is also performed on sealed queen cell also, after the emergence of virgin queen from a queenless colony, or when the condition in the hive or optimum. So many bees they perform this kind of dance during the field study. और ये जो डांस है काफी बार many times इसको ऑब्जर्व किया गया है ऑल आवर्स ऑफ द डे एंड नाइट. डे में भी कर सकती हैं, नाइट में भी कर सकती हैं, इवन क्वीनलेस कॉलोनीज में भी डीवीवी डांस हो सकता है. और बहुत बार डीवीवी डांस इट इज बीन सीन दैट इट इज अ मिक्स्ड काइंड ऑफ डांस विद टेल वैग एंड क्रेसेंट डांस. ये राउंड डांस तो हम पढ़ चुके हैं, क्रेसेंट और टेल वैग डांस का मिक्सचर होता है डीवीएवी डांस. Okay, next dance which we are going to study is the alarm dance. ये alarm dance तभी होता है when the condition of the colony is bad, when the condition of the colony is critical. Okay, so जब भी कोई दूसरा कुछ substance या फिर कोई चीज जो disturb कर दे कॉलोनी को, तभी डिस्टरबेंस के दौरान ही इस अलार्म डांस को देखने मिलेगा. So while performing this alarm dance, the bees they all run in spiral or irregular kind of a zigzag direction में movement करेंगे और vigorously shake करेंगे abdomen को sidewise, और zigzag movement देखने मिलेगा. और इस दौरान जो जो फ्लाइट एक्टिविटीज है बीज की, मतलब कि जो ढूंढना होता है वेयर द फूड सोर्स इट इज प्रेजेंट, ये जो फ्लाइट एक्टिविटीज कंप्लीटली बंद हो जाएगी, एंड ऑल ऑफ देम दे रिस्पॉन्ड टू काइंड ऑफ अलार्म डांस. एंड श्नेडर ने ऑब्जर्व किया था इस अलार्म डांस को. ये अलार्म डांस उनको तब देखने मिला था व्हेन द शुगर सोल्यूशन वाज कंटामिनेटेड विद डाई नाइट्रोक्रिसोल. डाइनाइट्रोक्रिसोल एक तरीके का पेस्टिसाइड है, इंसेक्टिसाइड है. सो अगर food solution, if it is contaminated by dinitrocresol in the hive box, then the bees get excited and they show increased dancing activity, telling others that there is a spread of the poison. सो आफ्टर 3-4 आवर्स जब डाइनाइट्रोसोल क्रिसोल को रिमूव कर दिया गया, फिर 3 से 4 घंटे में पूरा कॉलोनी जो है वो फिर से नॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज कंडक्ट करने लगी. फिर से फ्लाइट एक्टिविटीज जो है वो स्टार्ट हो गई. नेक्स्ट डांस विच वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी इज द क्रेसेंट डांस, इंटरमीडिएट सिकल डांस. सो इन वन ऑफ द रेसेस ऑफ बीज, this सभी में नहीं, in some of the races of bees this dance it is performed. The bees they show a rapid transition from the round dunks to the tail wagging dunks. ये काफी different है. Okay, round dunks और tail wagging dunks से. But in other races there is a slow transition called sickle dunks. Okay, so variations are performed when the food source is between 25 to 100 meters from the hive. तब इस तरीके का जो है dunks देखने मिलता है. Next is the cleaning dunks. So the bee begin to dunks when it requires cleaning. जब भी cleaning की जरूरत पड़ती है तो cleaning dunks भी देखने मिलता है. During the dancing, the bees shows a rapid stamping of the legs. जैसे हम legs को stamp करते हैं. जो हनी बीज हैं जब भी क्लीनिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है तो वो भी स्टैम्पिंग करती है. जैसे उनके पास 6 लेग्स हैं, सो दे डू द स्टैम्पिंग ऑफ द लेग्स. और फिर धीरे धीरे बॉडी को स्विंग भी करेंगे लेफ्ट राइट में, and with cleaning the bases of the wings. Okay, so during dancing, the bees they show a kind of a rapid stamping of the legs and swinging of the body. With cleaning the base of the wings, जो wings है उसकी base को भी clean करना start कर देंगी. और जो cleaner bee है, so the cleaner attempts the dancer. जो dancer है, uh, so the cleaner bees they attempt the dancer. So the dancer stops dancing when the cleaner touches the base or the wings of dancer bee. तो जिस bee को क्लीनिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है वो पहले स्टैम्प करेगी लेग्स को, स्विंग करेगी बॉडी को और विंग्स के बेस को टच करेगी. तो इस तरीके से जो क्लीनर बी है उसको समझ में आ जाएगा कि दिस बी नीड्स क्लीनिंग. सो जो डांसर बी है वो स्टॉप हो जाएगी. कब? when the cleaner bee she touches the base of the wings of the dancer bee. And the cleaner works with mandible by raising the forelegs in the air. वो clean करेगी wings को, thorax को, head को from one side then climb to the other side. So इस तरीके से cleaner भी बाकी की bees को जो है वो clean करती हैं. लेकिन जिससे cleaning करवाना है, जिससे भी खुद को clean कराना है तो उसको पहले dance करना पड़ेगा, cleaning dance. Okay, so the dancer may then clean its body in general. So this is how the cleaner bees, they are the one who cleans the other bees. So the cleaner bees, they are less in numbers on an average stand at one time in a colony. So this is how the bees dungs was present, and this is how the bees they communicate with each other. And this is how the video ends, and thank you very much.